Welcome to Let's Play Gran Turismo 3, episode 45. Okay, we have officially completed our only single race International B license event in the Amateur League, and now it's officially time for us to move on to our first Championship International B license event, which is the German Touring Car Championship. And I'm going to use the only German touring car I have in my garage, which is obviously the CLK touring car. And I don't think I need any tuning on this thing because, well, the races are only 3 laps, and obviously it is another championship. Or as it says in there, Deutsch Tourenwagen Challenge. A battle of nature unfolds among speedy touring cars based on the Autobahn. Yeah, don't mind me, I was just doing a terrible German accent there. At least I think it was terrible, but anyways. So, a 5-race championship as usual, and the circuits we are going to are Tri-Mountain, Midfield, Deep Forest, Laguna Seca, and Tokyo to finish it off. And officially we win 10 grand if we can win each of these races. Obviously no cars are excluded from entry, so we can basically use any car we want, but obviously because I'm keeping it traditional, that's the reason why I chose the Merc. And it's also because officially overall the other 2 cars we have are basically Vauxhalls. And this field is mostly comprised of CLK touring cars, but at the same time we have 2 Vauxhall Calibras and 1 Vauxhall Astra. Or of course, if you're playing the other PAL versions of this game or the NTSC version, you obviously know this as Opel. And obviously gonna turn off the assists because that's what I do, and let's go to race number 1, where the audio of these touring cars will be overruling my voice as I try to turn it down on my headset. And officially, the German Touring Car Championship is underway. I decided to do no tuning whatsoever because I thought it was unnecessary, and already there has been some contact with the first of the Calibras, and I've already collided with another one of the Mercs. Anyways, here we are, and at the front at the moment is the first of the 2 Calibras. Sparks flying as we head down the back stretch and diving down the inside. The Astra trying to make it stick. He hits the wall, and officially that has now put me up into the lead here at Trial Mountain for the early stages. I know that obviously you probably cannot hear my voice right now, but at least I can say I can actually hear my voice generating through the microphone in comparison to when I previously didn't. Because the previous headset I had before I replaced it, I just really didn't have anything to compete, of course, with the loudness of what these engines were generating at the time. I should have probably got a tissue before I started recording this because I already have a runny nose. I guess that's just the price I pay for being a dumbass. Anyways, I have already built up an interval to the second placed car, which is officially the Astra at the present time, but meanwhile further back we have the CLK touring car along with the Calibra in fourth. And as I expected at the present time, I am officially dominating this first race. Anyways, final lap here at Trial Mountain, as I now already have pretty much a 2.9 second interval to the Astra, as we now head through the first tunnel for the final time here at Trial Mountain. I now have a 3-gap cushion to the Astra, and I see no real point in pushing it at the moment, so not really gonna push it into the red zone too far, if you ask me. I am currently unchallenged in my Merc CLK, and officially it now looks like I'm going to be en route to victory number 1. There we go. It is victory in race number 1 by 3.5 seconds. And then it was the 2 CLKs in 3rd and 4th, and then at the back it was the 2 Calibras. So I think that's pretty much solidified how exactly this championship is going to look. But hopefully I should be able to win possibly 3 out of 5 races, considering I probably am confident enough to say I will possibly do that. So those are your current standings, and it pretty much looks like that's the way the standings are going to stay. So 10 grand for winning race 1, and officially, let's now move onwards to race number 2, which is taking place at Midfield. I'm getting confused. The start of race number 2, officially as I expected. I got wheel spin off the start because, well, obviously this thing is rear-wheel drive. At the moment, these AI are not willing to give an inch. But it doesn't matter too much because I still slot around the outside, trying to see if I can look for an opening. Contact is still being made, having to shift down into 3rd gear so I don't touch the gravel. And as I expected up to this point, I am being challenged. Oh shit. Oh fuck me. Yep, I just knew that was gonna happen. Yeah, I was right there on the outside, and then suddenly, when I was about to correct the issue, I just suddenly got spun around by the AI. And well, in some cases I do accept the blame, but in many other cases I don't accept the blame. Because even though I was about to correct the oversteer I was receiving from that corner, the AI still had to literally dump me right on the corner exit and pretty much send me into the barrier. Fortunately for me at least, vehicle damage is not a thing in this game, so obviously... Oh, fuck me. Okay, I actually need to concentrate if I'm going to get this done properly, because I am driving like a dumbass right now. And shifting up into third this time so I do not repeat the mistake I made before, and already, as I expected, I am now gradually starting to move up simply because I am pushing. And trying to see if I can look for an opening as we now start the third lap here at midfield, and officially I'm now up into the second position, hoping this AI will not punt me again, as I'm now diving down the inside, hoping the errors on this lap will not repeat themselves, and already I have now moved back up into the lead. Heading under the bridge, and officially it is going to be 2 wins to the CLK over the Astra. And as I expected, rubber banding, keeping the racing close, so obviously I do not have to wait too long for the rest of these AI to finish. And whether there will be any point shuffles or not, that remains to be seen. But obviously, between me and the Astra, I doubt that's gonna shuffle positions. But officially, we do now have a tie for third between the two fellow CLKs, and the Astra is pretty much looking like he will probably take second position, and meanwhile at the back we still have the two Calibras. So another 10 points to me, and officially we can now move onwards. And I think what I will do now is save this replay, because I don't think I have any recent replays of me saving a race at midfield. I have to check to be sure, but don't think I do. No, I don't. Yeah, just had to be sure. But anyways, that was race 2, and amidst all of the crashing I did, I was eventually able to come back and win the race. Anyways, race number 3. This time I'm shifting up into third gear, so I can again limit the wheel spin, and I'm pretty certain this V8 engine is definitely overruling my voice in terms of the loudness it is producing, and almost over sure I heard a disturbance on my left side, because that's where my door is, but fortunately, it doesn't look like it's anything to be concerned about, and officially, the two Calibras are actually fighting for position at the moment, considering obviously one of them is currently leading this thing. But again, the Astra is down the inside and is already up into the 3rd position. Meanwhile, I am currently behind the other Calibra, who surprisingly is actually fighting for position at the moment. And officially, it will probably not be long before he is shuffled to the back, because obviously the Calibra, in comparison to the other DTM cars we have in this championship, has been pretty slow, although it will surprise me if he does manage to hold on to the 2nd position. That will surprise me very much, but I'm probably doubtless in saying he won't. It would be nice if he could, but obviously I'm pretty certain he probably won't. Although, I suppose we'll just have to wait and see to be sure. But again, with the Altezza race, which was notably the previous championship we did, and also effectively the final A-license event in this game, officially, positions just literally kept on swapping, and there was literally no decider on how exactly the final results would unravel until it came down to the final round of that championship in Monaco. And obviously, even though I'm doubtless this will probably not be as much patch shuffling in this championship, I'm pretty certain that if the Calibra does manage to hold on to 2nd, which he is doing at the moment, then I'm pretty certain there is going to be quite a turnaround for possibly the rest of this championship to see who will finish in either 4th or 5th. Meanwhile, the other Calibra at the moment is still at the back of the pack, and as I predicted, the Astra has managed to overtake the Calibra. He was running in 2nd place for so long in this race, and then eventually, because he did not have the pace to keep up with the supremacy that is the DTM Astra, obviously he was eventually shuffled to the back. Or at least I think he's been shuffled to the back behind the Astra and the 2 Mercs. Anyways, exiting the final corner now, and trying to keep this car straight, and officially, it is 3 out of 5 wins to the Merc CLK, and as I predicted, the 2 Calibras were eventually shuffled to the back. So, no change of the top 2, and I would imagine it's going to be a perfect score for both me and the Astra in this championship, with me probably scoring 50 points and the Astra scoring a likely 30 points. And officially, hasn't really been much of a change, apart from saying that obviously me and the Astra are looking like we're going to be on our perfect scores. Then we have the 2 Mercs in 3rd and 4th, and then at the back it's the 2 Calibras. So the championships have not been decided under their final structure just yet, but obviously I'm pretty certain there probably will be a deciding point sooner or later. Anyways, before I start ranting, let's just get on with race 4, which takes place at the only world circuit in this game, and that is Laguna Seca. And I mean the only world circuit by saying that obviously this is very much the only real-life road course in this game. Well, there's this as well as Monaco, but obviously Monaco is just a city course, whereas Laguna Seca is a road course. But oddly enough, I do actually like the scenario of Laguna Seca where they literally decided it was probably a good idea to put this circuit under the dusk of a sunset. You know, I do actually like this scenario here at Laguna Seca where they put us under the scenery of a sunset. You know, I think that's pretty amazing, if you ask me, because I like this scenery very much, if you want my honest opinion. And just feathering it on the throttles with corkscrew because I don't want to spin the thing, and now at the moment it looks like one of the CLKs is now up into the second position. Meanwhile for me, I'm pretty much on what is looking likely to be yet another domination run, probably, and officially at the moment it's more or less looking like I am probably on my way to achieving success once again, but dependent on knowing if this championship will be a clean sweep or not, that remains to be seen. Because the only reason why I've officially won 3 out of 5 races so far is effectively because, well, those circuits have essentially benefited me over these AI, but obviously I'm pretty certain the other circuits will probably I'm pretty certain Tokyo will probably favour the AI more than it does me, because Tokyo appears to be one of those circuits where the AI do have the competence to keep up with the player, and possibly hold up the player as well. But overall, it doesn't really matter too much, because all I really need after winning 3 races is the consistency to win the championship, and then obviously, just like that, I'm basically the champion anyway. Although, at the moment of course, I'm actually being challenged for the lead, because it's one of my fellow CLKs that is actually closing up on me and trying to challenge me for the lead. And the only thing I really want to know right now is, can I hold him off? That's basically the only thing I want to know right now, because he's basically sticking right to my ass. He's basically sticking to me like... He's basically just sticking to me like there's some sort of magnetism between us. He must have a magnet on him or something if he's keeping this close to me, so I really cannot afford to bottle this if I'm going to go for the win. Anyways, heading through corkscrew. Don't think he's going to try and dive down the inside. Stays behind me, and as we now head down the hill from the corkscrew section, this is a pretty good race, considering it's basically a battle of the 2 Mercs here at Laguna Seca, and just managed to avoid getting a snap of oversteer, and officially it is going to be 4 out of 5 victories to the Merc CLK. By 2/3 of a second. And surprisingly, the Astra did not make any overtakes in this race, or not many overtakes as far as I could tell. But officially, it definitely looks like there is going to be no perfect strings in this championship. From what I thought for sure there was going to be, but apparently there is not. So officially, I'm pretty much confirmed as the champion now, because I've won 4 out of 5 races. The Astra is still second, then we have the 2 CLKs in 3rd and 4th, and then at the back it is still the 2 Calibras. So let's now head over to the 5th and final race of the German Touring Car Championship, and where obviously I'm going to save the game, because I figured that would be necessary in case if I don't, win the prize car I want. Alright, so take 3 of race 5 in the German Touring Car Championship, because officially, even though my brain is telling me to accept whichever prize car I win, the truth is, my heart is telling me to basically go for the prize car I want, which is basically the DTM Astra. So attempt number 3 of this, because I'm still a stubborn idiot. And apparent as it might be, my heart is telling me not to conceive to the other prize cars I'm getting acceptable. Even though by now I think I probably should have yielded to the prize cars that I win, the truth is, it's not something I feel like I can, conceive myself to. If you want me to put it into the least offensive terms possible. And already, as I expected, these AI are pushing to me. It almost looked as though they were going to go 3 wide off the exit of that hairpin. They almost looked like they were going to go 3 wide, from what I could see there. It definitely looked like a potentially 3 wide shot, rather than 3 abreast. But officially, I'm now up into the 3rd position, very briefly, because the Caliber had to wreck me. And officially, as I expected, in comparison to the AI, I'm on the back foot. Because apparent as it might be, I'm lapsing in my concentration at the moment. And in saying that, I've now just managed to pull myself up into the 3rd position, behind both the leading CLK and the Astra. And where it probably looks like I'm not going to win this race unless I pull off a last minute dive, which I don't think is going to work. But officially, at the moment, I am happy to conceive to the position which I already have. But of course, there really isn't anything else I can do, besides maybe seeing if I can fight for the position. And I'm pretty certain DTM back in the early 2000s were with V8 engines. I'm pretty sure those were the engines they used in these things. Because obviously, DTM cars back then were rear-wheel drive. I'm pretty sure they still are rear-wheel drive. I'm pretty certain in terms of drivetrain, these cars are FRs because the engine is in the front, and also the cars themselves are rear-wheel drive. And officially, we are now pretty much 3 abreast coming down the front stretch for a brief moment, and down the outside so that I don't get involved in any kerfuffles. Officially, I'm once again fighting the Astra for position, and down the inside I go. A little bit of contact was made there. Don't think I could have held on to the position, or at least I had to be cowardly and just back out of that, because I knew I wasn't going to hold on to the position in comparison to where the Astra was. Decided it was probably best if I just kept it clean, so that's coincidentally what I did. because these AI appear to be stronger than me through the first two sectors, but oddly enough, I seem to range a comeback in the final two sectors. Sorry, in the final sector, because apparently it might be... I've discovered the AI are stronger than me in the first two sectors, but ironically, I'm stronger than the AI in the final sector. That's basically the one thing I discovered from this. And I think at this point it's probably best for me to conceive the position to the Astra, because I think the Astra up to this point is looking stronger than me. And even though I am in the draft, I don't think I'm going to pull this off. Oh shit, I hit the wall. But again, like it was in the previous two attempts I tried this, it was virtually a photo finish, because I was very close to the win, but obviously I had to fuck it up right at the last moment, because that's what I expected myself to do, but... Anyways, so the German Touring Car Championship may not be a clean sweep, but again, I really don't care, because obviously I won 4 out of 5 races anyway, so yeah. So in the end, I won by 15 points over the Astra, then it was the first of the two Mercs in third, the other one was fourth with 20 and 16 points respectively, and then it was the two Calibras at the back with both 10 and 7 points respectively. Where I'm hoping this time I will manage to win the prize car I want. So trying again for the third time to see if I can win the prize car I want. Because that is literally how stubborn I am. Let's see what we get this time. And ironically, the third time truly is the charm. So, eventually after being stubborn and telling myself to go with my gut feeling, I decided I would go back and try to see if I could win this thing, and ironically enough, here it is. I have won the DTM Astra. And as of which, that is officially the car I am using for our next championship, which is the GT All-Stars. So, won 4 out of 5 races in the German Touring Car Championship. Just got that one race in Tokyo I need to sweep up, and then officially following this, we will be doing the Amateur GT All-Stars. And my controller just turned off. And so, at the completion of that, we are now 38.1% complete with this game, and officially, this is our prize car. The Vauxhall Astra Touring Car Opel Team Phoenix, as it says in brackets. So, took me 2 failed attempts to win this thing, but eventually, because I was stubborn enough to go for this prize car, I just decided that's what I would do. Because this was the car I was wanting to use for the next championship. Because that's how much of a stubborn idiot I am. But that is our prize car. We win the DTM Astra. Even though obviously this was not on my first attempt. I'm making that perfectly clear. Also, furthermore, we can get a lot of money from this thing if we sell it. 245 grand. But obviously I have no reason of selling it, so... there we go. After 2 failed attempts, I did manage to win the DTM Astra, and officially, that was the German Touring Car Championship, and next time, we shall be doing the Amateur GT All-Stars. Stay tuned.